Hari Om. Today is the auspicious occasion of Vijayadashami. So let me begin by saying Jai Shri Ram. In Sarga 37, Valmiki cuts to Sri Rama's camp. Sri Rama is seated along with Lakshmana, the great Hanuman, Jambavan and Vibhishana, as also Angada, Sharabha, Sushena and others. They are all in a military council. Now Sri Rama pointed to Lanka. Lo and behold, that city is impregnable for even gods and asuras, Gandharvas and Nagas, given the way it has been constructed and the way it is protected. This council will have to come up with a plan to defeat Ravana, who is protected there. Vibhishana now spoke with a lot of respect. O Lord, my team of Anala, Panasa, Sampati and Pramati have just gone on a reconnaissance mission to Lanka and returned. They took the form of birds and flew over Lanka and studied the army activity undetected. Please listen to the debrief through me of how Ravana has organized the Rakshasa forces. Vibhishana then described pretty much exactly what we have read before in Sarga 36, the way Ravana has instructed Prahasta and Indrajit and everybody to take a position in different gates. In terms of the Rakshasa commanders and their defenses, he raided the 4 gates and in the center of Lanka. Vibhishana also narrated their numbers in terms of soldiers, elephants, horses and chariots. The men on Ravana's side are all formidable warriors, ready to kill. They are all very faithful to Ravana. Vibhishana presented his 4 lieutenants, who also gave all the information to Sri Rama in further detail. Then Vibhishana told Sri Rama, "O Sri Rama, when Ravana attacked Kubera, his Rakshasa warriors fought as well as Ravana himself fought. I am not saying this either to displease you or to scare you. I know, Sri Rama, that you are fully capable of defeating even the gods. Therefore, I know you will attack with a well-organized Vanara army and defeat Ravana." Now, Sri Rama considered all the inputs and then issued orders. Let Nila, with a huge Vanara contingent, attack Prahasta at the eastern gate. Let Angada take a big chunk of our army and go to attack the southern gate, where Mahodara and Mahaparshva lie in wait. Let the son of Vayu, Hanuman, take a large contingent and enter the western gate. We must remember the western gate is protected by Indrajit. Indrajit already knows the prowess of Hanuman. So Sri Rama says, let Hanuman go to the western gate. Then he says something very significant. Daityadanava sanghanam rishinam cha mahatmanam viprakara priyah kshudro varadana balanvitaha parikramatiha sarvan lokan santapayat prajaha tasyaham rakshasendrasya swayameva vadhe kritaha dhrutaha swayameva vadhe dhrutaha uttaram nagaradvaram aham saumitrina saha nipidya abhipravekshyami sabalo etra ravanaha. The northern gate, which is being protected by Mr. Ravana, who has done so many misdeeds, who has done evil to Devas, Danavas and Rishis, who is despicable in all ways. He is bloated with a sense of power, owing to the boons he has got from Brahma. That one who attacks and torments all beings in all the worlds always, that king of Rakshasas, I shall undertake to kill personally. Vadhe dhritaha. Therefore I shall go and break into the northern gate myself, along with Lakshmana, exactly where Ravana is waiting with his forces. Let King Sugriva, Jambavan and Vibhishana attack the enemy at the center of Lanka. They will have to come and attack aerially. Sri Rama now gives a clear directive. Let Vanaras not assume a human form ever in battle. This is important because Vanaras are gifted with special powers to take any shape and form that they wish. He says, let Vanaras appear as Vanaras only. We need to track our Vanara forces very closely, he says. If they are seen as humans or Rakshasas, it is very difficult to distinguish. He says, let our forces be as they are. Only the 7 of us, Sri Rama, Lakshmana, Vibhishana and his 4 men. Because Vibhishana and his 4 men can take any form, they will appear as humans, will be fighting as humans. After this, Sri Rama decided to go to the top of Suvela mountain. That was the vantage point where he had camped, and to get a good view of the enemy forces. So you must imagine Lanka on top of a hill-like thing Subela on the other side is the mountain on which Sri Rama is standing. He gets a good view. Sri Rama, along with his forces, viewed Lanka from the mountain top with a most positive disposition. In Sargas 38 and 39, Valmiki describes Sri Rama's reaction to the spectacle of Lanka when it is illuminated in the sunset and later at night, as he watches in the distance the spectacle of Lanka with Vibhishana, Sugriva, Hanuman and Lakshmana. The Sarga begins like this. Sri Rama invited Sugriva and the noble and astute Vibhishana to join him and spend the night at the top of the mineral-rich Suvela mountain. Along with Hanuman and Lakshmana, they all went to the top as the sun was setting. Lankam chalokayishyamo nilayam tasya rakshasaha yena me maranantaya hrita bharya duratmana. Friends, let us take a close look at the city of Lanka from this vantage point. It is a city of the evil Rakshasa who has invited his death by abducting my wife. That despicable act was done by one who has no idea of dharma or justice or the way to protect one's lineage and reputation. Sri Rama was followed by Lakshmana, ever alert and carrying his mighty weapons. Hanuman, Angada and eventually all the Vanara chiefs also joined them. As they all looked at it, Lanka appeared like a jewel in the sky. Its ramparts were guarded by blue-hued mountain mighty Rakshasas who appeared like another wall itself. The Vanaras started making loud war cries as they looked at Lanka. The sun set. The mountain was soon bathed in moonlight. More so was Lanka. As I looked on, it looked like a paradise. Its gardens were well laid and shone with a variety of splendid fauna and flora. We have seen how Valmiki never fails to describe with vibrant verbal imagery the trees, animals and birds. The same kind of description follows now. Vichitra kusumopetai rakta komala pallavaihi. Lanka shone with incomparable splendor, filled with exotic flowering varieties and reddish tender shoots in its gardens. The bees and birds were making merry constantly. Valmiki says the mighty Vanaras could not resist Lanka's attractions. They took Sugriva's permission and carrying their flags and insignia entered Lanka and started roaming everywhere. Their loud roars scared away all the wild animals. Lanka's main city was located on top of the Trikuta mountain, which was huge and high. It was not scalable by ordinary creatures. The city itself was 10 yojanas wide and 20 yojanas long. Its tall mansions looked like clouds in the sky. Lanka had a 1,000-pillared main Chaitya, temple palace, that looked like the Kailasa peak itself. Sri Rama did not hide his astonishment at the opulence, beauty and grandeur of Lanka, which was like the abodes of Indra and Kubera. He did not fail to register its defenses with ramparts and moats and drawbridges, all under the fierce vigilance of Rakshasas with their weapons and even missile-launching machinery. At this point, I just want to muse over Valmiki's graphic description of Lanka at this juncture. You see, Sita was living in the forest in very difficult circumstances. Her only solace and joy were that she was with Sri Rama and they were served by Lakshmana. She has now been abducted by this Rakshasa king who thinks he is invincible. And he takes her to this fantastic jewel of a capital city with its unimaginable heavenly pleasures and attractions. In this place, Sita does not choose to accept this life of pleasure and comfort. She decides to reject Ravana's advances and she is suffering in a most pitiable manner in Ashokavana. It is called Ashokavana because that is also very beautiful. But for Sita, nothing is important except the memory and love of Sri Rama. So she is actually sitting down in soiled clothes and suffering pitiably as she is being constantly tormented by the Rakshasis and the ugly words of Ravana. We have to keep this in our mind And obviously, Sri Rama is looking at Lanka and thinking of all this too. This is the end of Sarga 39. Sri Rama Jayam.